All right, everyone. Out here in the shop this morning, and I took a little bit of time to what I would call reload my toolbox. Picked up all my tools, got it back in the toolbox so I can actually find what I'm looking for. I don't know if anybody else ever has that problem. You walk around for 15 minutes trying to find the wrench that you end up finding in your back pocket. Well, it's to that point. So put everything back in the toolbox, and I've gotten a lot of work done on the chassis here. 2 weeks ago, I painted it. Last weekend, I kind of took the weekend off. Me and the kid and the neighbor went and enjoyed our vintage sleds, went on an awesome 75-mile ride on freshly groomed trails. Just had a blast. So over the week, been kind of putzing with putting all the parts back on the chassis here, and just wanted to do a little quick video of what I've gotten done over the last week here. But getting a lot of things back together here. I did wet sand and polish or buff out the frame. As I've said before, you'll be able to see this frame, the size of the frame rail and the top of it pretty easily when the body's on the car. So I want the frame to look as nice as I can possibly make it look. So I've got a lot of the suspension put back together. My dad and I put the monoleaf back together the other night. As you can see here, I got this plastic liner that goes in between the leaves and stuff to kind of help the leaves slide a little bit better, eliminate squeaks. Yeah, look at the shine on the frame here. You can see the shock in my hand and stuff here. Yeah, the color, it's a garnet red is the color. It just turned out awesome. I got things taped off here. I got cloths over everything. I feel like just standing by it, I'm gonna scratch it. And so I'm just doing my best to try and keep from scratching the paint, trying to put this thing together. And I'm gonna get them. There's gonna be no way around it. As careful as I can be, it's still gonna happen. But so yeah, we got the front end all back together there, and I had to bring the spindles down to a shop and have the kingpin bushings pressed into the spindles. I got them right over here, and he pressed in the bushing, and then he reamed them to fit. So here's my kingpin. It slides right out of here, but so I had a shop do that. I thought I could just tap in the bushings myself. And after I started reading the directions stuff and realized, well, you got to kind of align ream them too, because these spindles, I mean, the bores aren't perfectly lined up. So when you put that bushing in, then you basically run a ream through the whole deal and kind of a line ream that. So that's all done. I can get the spindles back on and finish up on the steering and get the rest of that put back together. I got the rear end back here. Got the 4-link all put back in. Trent and my dad did an amazing job on sanding and polishing them things out. And then I just had to paint the ends right here a little bit, because these bungs that I got, I couldn't find a stainless steel bung. So I just bought a steel one, and then I welded it into my stainless tubing. You can just kind of see the weld right here. So I just masked it off right at the edge of the weld and then painted wherever it was going to be steel at. So I've been using a lot of stainless hardware on everything. I feel it's going to be strong enough. Some people say stainless bolts aren't that strong. And yes, they're not as strong as a grade 8, but I think for what I'm doing here, the strength of this 1/2-inch bolt is more than sufficient. And so we buffed and polished all the heads of the bolts. And one thing you want to keep in mind when you're putting stainless anything together with threads, you always want to put a little bit of anti-seize on your threads. And what that does is help prevent it from gulling the thread when you're bolting it together. And I don't know if you ever dealt with a stainless bolt before, but if you get one little gull in your thread, it's done. It's not going to come apart. It's not going to get any tighter. You basically got to snap the bolt off or cut it off and start over. So to prevent any of that from happening on stainless threads, always put a little bit of anti-seize on there. So that'll help on that. Got the shocks all in here. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of plugging away at it all week. Things are starting to come together. I did order some new drums for it off the old interweb. So I ordered drums and wheel cylinders for it, which once I get them, I'll have to paint them. And then I also got to paint the back side of my rotors for the front, because I realized with an open wheel car like this, you'll be able to see the back side of the rotor back here. So I got to paint in there. It's just like casting. It's not where the rotor is actually machined, but you'll be able to see in there. So got to paint that. I got to paint the calipers. So I did paint a bunch of stuff 2 weeks ago, and I do got another whole pile of stuff I got to paint to be able to keep bolting stuff back onto here, and then I'll get back onto the body. So this weekend I'm going to take a break from working on the frame. Oh, I do got the master cylinder in here too. That was something they made, all these little brackets and stuff to be able to mount the master cylinder underneath the body. Made this stainless rod with a little bit of a knuckle up here and stuff. I had to kind of put a little jog in the rod for it to line up with the pedals and stuff. So I'm taking a break from this weekend. I'm going to get it all covered up because I went and picked up my engine from the engine shop, and I got a good block to work with. There is cracks. These are notorious cracks for a flathead. But what I'm going to end up doing is a relief right here. I'm going to end up milling this out basically right in this area on each cylinder. So I'll be taking care of that this weekend. But that'll be in a whole different video. I'm doing a series of videos just on the engine and a series of videos on the chassis. So yeah, so that's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Thanks, guys.